What's up, guys? This is Sammy Geek back here with another update video. I posted a video a few weeks ago on the OnePlus Open and how I was actually sending it back because of a few issues I had. So you guys can go check that video out. But guess what? So I still have the Fold 5 in my hand here. This is the Samsung Fold 5, but guess what I'm recording on today? This is the OnePlus Open. So I went back to the OnePlus Open, believe it or not. Now, I'm not getting rid of my Samsung Fold 5, but here's my thoughts, okay? So what I told you guys in that last video is if I was able to find a really great deal on a OnePlus Open, I was expecting to wait until after January, after Christmas. I probably think I said that on the video, but I started to get really antsy because there was a few things I missed about the OnePlus Open, so I'll share those with you in a second. But anyway, as I said, I might go back to the OnePlus Open if I could find the right deal. I would be able to invest some money into having both devices and hopefully insurance on both devices so nothing happens. And then play with them do a little bit longer term comparison, because I had the OnePlus Open only for a short period of time, and you guys know I had some fogging issues, things like that with the OnePlus Open. And then I started to get really nervous about their service. Now, several weeks later, I've been able to read some reviews, and I understand that the OnePlus Open, some people are sending it back in for repairs and things like that. It's only taking maybe a week or two for them to get back the phone. I am definitely a Samsung fan, but I felt like I was missing it's not that the cameras are bad on this, but I felt like I wanted to try, give a shot to the bigger sensors on the OnePlus Open. I wanted to record videos like this and see what kind of the portrait video looks like as compared to the awesome portrait video on the Samsung phone. So I'm going to tell you guys this. Both these phones are great. They're both great. They both bring different advantages. If wireless charging is important to you, then you're going to like Samsung. If the higher level of water resistance is important to you, well, you're going to like Samsung. If a very tried, true, tested support structure is available or is important to you, then you're probably going to like Samsung. But on the other end of the spectrum, if you like wired fast charging, which is crazy fast on the OnePlus Open, you're going to clearly go to the OnePlus. If you like better cameras or higher end specs, you're going to go to the OnePlus. If extra zoom is important to you, you're going to go to the OnePlus. If a more standard aspect ratio on the front screen is important to you, that's clearly a OnePlus win. So the other thing is, so the thinness of the device is tricky because it's a little bit thinner, the OnePlus, than the Samsung, but that camera bump, when I set them both on the table, the OnePlus really sits up high, and it sits up much higher than this device. So the camera bump, it's kind of a catch-22, because I think the cameras overall, when I look at the difference, I think there's a little bit of a fun factor in the open cameras, if that makes sense, versus this is going to be more of your traditional smartphone camera. So there's like, I'll think of the word, but there's a character is the word I'm thinking of. There's like a character behind the Hasselblad with the color signature and just, I don't know, the cool factor of it, right? It's just different. It's like it's hard to explain, but it's more of a natural type of photo. I've heard some people describe it as it feels more like a regular camera, like you're taking pictures from just a regular kind of point and shoot type of camera versus the traditional cell phone camera. So like if you were to compare the pictures, you might think that it was from sort of that like mirrorless lens, for lack of a better term, camera, if you were to compare the pictures in the OnePlus as compared to, pretty much when you take a picture and you look at a picture from the Samsung, that it's been taken on a cell phone, Samsung cell phone. So I do like how it blurs the lines a little bit with the Hasselblad. So The cameras are a big thing. Of course, you're definitely going to lean towards OnePlus. The inner screen as compared to the inner screen on the Fold 5. If you want the next level of inner screen, you're going to go OnePlus. There's no doubt, and I'm not knocking Samsung because this is still an awesome device. They're both awesome devices. Like, I'm not going to say one or the other is horrible. Samsung brings some things here that OnePlus doesn't, like the additional waterproofing, if that's important to you. Also, some people might like the narrow aspect. It might be a pro, actually, although I think Samsung is going to expand this, but so you might actually like that you can hold it very easy in one hand, where I prefer, between this phone and the OnePlus, I prefer the bigger display. I'll get into that in a second. But anyway, back into the internal display, it is night and day difference between the OnePlus and the Fold 5 on the crease. Very, very minimal crease on the OnePlus, and the screen being a little bit wider. So when I open this device, so when I'm watching like a YouTube video, I just open the device and watch it here and then look at comments below. The difference between the aspect ratio, if you just simply open them and compare them, the video is probably 20% larger on the OnePlus. And that's a pro and a con, but if you rotate it this way, they're identical, like nearly identical. So you're not going to get a bigger picture or bigger video on the OnePlus. It'll be the same size, but in just the folded, unfolded mode, it is significantly bigger on the OnePlus. For me, 95% of the time, I do not turn the phone. So I simply just open it, watch my video, and then do things here. The other thing that I do is I do like the tent mode thing. Actually, if you're on an airplane, and if you're on an airplane that, let's say you want to watch some YouTube stuff that you downloaded or something, so you're not going to use the monitor, you can actually open the device and set it like in the seat in front of you like this and be like watching your content. So I'm happy that the OnePlus does that. At first I didn't think it does, but apparently what you got to do is open it and then set it on the table. I think you guys know that. So with that said, it's starting to get closer and closer to the Samsung. Then when I am watching it, it is just bigger, better, and the non-reflective film that they use on the inside of the OnePlus, it is freaking amazing compared to the Fold. I mean, Samsung, I love you, but the OnePlus is just the inner display, you guys, is game changing. It's awesome. It's that matte finish. You don't get the reflection. It folds open so nice. It is just, it feels like it feels super premium. So I missed it tremendously. Like, this is awesome. Again, great. But it's like, do you want something like, if it was in a scale from 1 to 10, if 10 was the best, do you want 8 or do you want a 10? Because you can have a 10 with the OnePlus if you're okay with being an early adopter of the OnePlus, at least I know it's a 3rd generation phone, but in the United States, it's the first. And not everybody is a OnePlus customer and isn't familiar. Even if you look on like Reddit and you look at the Reddit posts, some people are like, oh great, I've had an issue, or I sent in my phone and it took a month to get back. And then people are commenting, well, welcome to OnePlus. And I'm like, that does not sound very reassuring. So, you know, all those things are the reason that I ended up sending it back. And I paid full retail for it as well. Well, of course, minus the $200 trade-in, but I didn't see, I just didn't see me wanting to jump in at that time. But so I continued to monitor the used market, a couple of sites that I mentioned before in my last video. And I ended up finding a cool deal. It was a great deal, and it was just perfect for me at the time. And so I went forward with the OnePlus. So the way I've got these arranged, both these, is I've got like slim, like the AirMed cases and a screen protector. But, you know, so I've got them decked out the same. So I'm going to try the OnePlus here for a while. I was really happy to get the OnePlus back in my hands. it has like this. I'm telling you guys, it has this character personality behind it. That's a really good way to put it. It's got like this personality that the Fold maybe is like feeling out of date, or something's going on here where it just doesn't have this kind of spunky, fun personality. Like, hey, you can use the front display full bore all day if you wanted to. You would never have to unfold this device. You've got this camera that has, like I said, it's got this character, kind of this fun. There's actually some Hasselblad little filters and things that you guys can do. One of the ones really cool where it kind of, you can do like these widescreen, like black and white shots, and like that's built in. And so it kind of adds like a little fun factor into that. The front screen is super usable. I found myself this morning, when I looked at my phone and was checking emails, after using the Fold 5 for quite a while now, I went and I picked this phone up in the morning, and I look at my emails, and I'm like, ooh, that was refreshing to have. I forgot how narrow the screen was, because you get used to it. But once you go back to a wider display on the front, you're like, oh man, like it just feels so much more usable. I will be honest with you, 100% honest. After just I'm back on day one with the OnePlus Open. I do miss the small camera bump. I can tell you already, like on day one, I do miss the small camera bump. And then, although I don't like the functionality of it because it kind of feels a little bit, crunched in, claustrophobic when you're trying to type, but I do miss just the handling ability of it, right? Because it fits in your hand so well, goes in your pocket so well, it doesn't have the huge bulge. But for the cameras, for the front screen aspect ratio, for the, thank goodness, no reflections, it, to me, man, it's just, I'm really digging the OnePlus again. I have not tested to see if I am going to get some fogging issues. But here's the thing. I will tell you, don't run out and trade in your Fold 5 until you have an opportunity to kind of test both phones. I will test this phone now that I got it for on the used market for a deal that I think I'm okay putting that investment into this phone to be able to use it. Now I can go head to head legit between these two for like the next month or two. And if I find myself continuing to go to the OnePlus Open and this just sits, well, then it'll probably be time to end up selling this phone or trade it in down the road when Samsung comes out with the Fold 6. But they're gonna have to bring the heat. They're gonna have to bring some heat. I'm telling you. The wireless charging thing, the wired charging for Samsung, they're gonna have to step the game up there. They've got to make this thing charge faster. The OnePlus just rips, and to the point that I don't think, like me, yeah, I think it should have wireless charging. It should, but it's not necessary with how fast the thing charges. It doesn't heat up at all. That's the weirdest thing. I went from like 20% to, so I went from like 20% to 98%. And this is funny because I plugged in the phone. I felt like it was 20 minutes, you guys. Like it was not that long. And so I plug in the phone and I come back in there, and I thought in my mind, I'm like, I know this thing charges fast. And I plugged it in at like 20%. I'm like, I'm going to be at 65, 70%, like all day long. And I'm like, I won't even have to plug it in tonight. I go in and I unplug it. The thing is that it was at 98 or 99%. And I was literally like, what? Like, looking at the time, I'm like, I think the thing's been on the charger for like 20 minutes, 22 minutes. I swear. So the Fold 5, I'm used to what now feels like trickle charging compared to my first test and this test with the OnePlus Open. So Samsung's going to have to step it up. They're going to have to bring some extra fast charging. Wireless charging, that's great if you've got time to sit at a desk all day long because it charges so slow. And then the aspect ratio, clearly they're going to need to do something with that. Maybe incorporate the S Pen. They're going to have to bring some game with these cameras, man. Like, You can't have OnePlus out here coming out with a better cameras, better form factor, less crease, no reflection, awesome functioning. And you guys all saw the jerry rig everything video where he actually did the flex. You can see his hands shaking as he's trying to bend it, and the OnePlus Open held up. So that's it, you guys. If you have any questions, comments, I always like to end these videos and telling you guys, I am not hating on Samsung. I am not hating on OnePlus. They are both awesome devices. You cannot go wrong with either one. If you have a Fold 5 and you don't have a OnePlus, no big deal. If you have a OnePlus and you don't have a Fold 5, no big deal. That's great. Competition is great. They're both awesome phones. They both bring a little bit different. I had one guy that really stood out. There was a comment on my last video, and he thought I was nuts for going to back to the Samsung Fold 5. He's like, the OnePlus Open is a better phone, hands down, in every category, period. End of story. You are wrong. And I'm just like, wow, taken back. I'm like, I don't understand that, because the Samsung Fold 5 is an engineering masterpiece that takes beautiful pictures, awesome camera. The portrait mode video is awesome on this phone, and it's solid as can be, and the support structures, I mean, you guys, the list goes on and on. This is not, in any world or universe, a bad phone. So if you sit here in the comments and you're like, no way, OnePlus wins it hands down, I don't think so. And I'm here to tell you firsthand, because I've used both and I've experienced both. Unless you've truly experienced both for an extended period of time, which I'm still working on now, clearly with the OnePlus, but I trust Samsung and I trust this device. It's like driving Fords for your entire life and then switching to some new truck manufacturer. Yeah, they might bring the heat. You might think it's a great truck, but there's the reliability factor, there's the support structure, there's the fact that this thing is still an awesome phone. It just doesn't bring some of the new features, like it has a little bit more crease and things that we talked about. So be kind in the comments, and just let me know your thoughts between the two, and I'll keep you guys updated. Peace. Talk to you guys later.